The July meeting of the Zoning Board of Appeals. Go ahead and call the roll when you're ready.
Dino Ori,
Here.
Mark Hill. Oh,
Stay here.
Mark's here. You want to? Mark's coming. Sorry, it's going to be locked. There he is.
Mark's here.
Stay here.
Mark Hill.
Here.
Okay.
Take us over here.
Here, you're supposed all the way down here. Sorry.
Name tags here.
All right, we'll keep on. Ed Zosky,
Here.
Mike Kelly,
Here.
Mike McCarthy,
Here.
Belinda Young.
Here.
All right, and then Jim Weber is absent. So, if you
All
want
right, motion to approve the minutes. Who was here last week? I'd like to.
I've got a couple of changes to the minutes.
That was that on the first?
Oh, hold on.
Wait, wait.
Got some quick.
corrections.
Okay. Michael.
On
Don't go yet.
on deliberations,
Mm-hmm.
on the last page, on case 18R16,
I'm sorry, you said 16,
18R16,
18, R16. Okay,
it was me that motioned, not Mike Kelly.
okay.
And on case 18SU19, Belinda did not second, she was not here, I seconded.
Okay, and I'm sorry, and that was 18 dash.
SU19.
And I'm sorry, Mike, you said on the first one, you made the motion, not who? I'm
I
sorry.
made the motion to recommend denial,
Okay.
and on the second one, I seconded Mike
Okay.
Kelly's motion.
Okay, all right, I will, we've got that notated in the minutes here. Is everyone okay? We'll make sure that that gets into the minutes for last month.
Yeah.
Is there any other,
Now you gotta make a motion.
Ed?
Motion based on changes.
Motion.
Oh, on changes, oh, makes a motion on changes, okay. I move that.
We have a second.
changes So requested.
okay. Who's seconding? Do we have
I
someone?
haven't had a second yet.
I'll second.
Is that Mike?
Mike McCarthy.
Oh,
It is Mike.
all right.
Mike and a Mike.
Mike and Mike.
Okay, are you ready?
Oh, we got to vote to approve the minutes.
Voice vote? Aye.
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 6-0.
And case 18, R21 doesn't appear to be here, so we're going to go to case 18, SU22, petition of Lance Tossel of Stacks Water Systems LLC to amend an existing special use to allow for the expansion of the existing automatic keel from property located at 2466 Washington Road. That's PIN 0202-19-302-074. And I assume that you are Lance?
He's recording.
On? Yeah, Lance, yeah, go ahead and tell us what you're wanting to do up there.
I guess it's called an amendment to the special use to allow the ice vending chest to be next to the ice vending machine. So it serves as an overflow, kind of, it gives me a larger capacity. So if the machine, everybody buys ice at the same time, so if the vending machine can't keep up, there's 80 bags or so in that chest, so customers can still get ice. Something that we didn't foresee as a benefit that we're hearing from the customers is, they really like it. There's demand for it. If somebody's there filling up water, which can take some time, as they're waiting for the water to dispense, the customer, if a guy just wants ice or say he wants 10 bags, they can go over to the chest, they swipe their card, the door unlocks, they can grab those 10 bags, shut the door, it relocks.
He
And,
doesn't dispense the ice, and he just
Yeah, it
unlocks
does
the
not
door.
dispense it.
So
Yeah,
it's an
just
honor system, basically?
yeah. Well, it's a
Halfway honor.
uses a scale, yeah, and so it reweighs and it'll display on there what they were charged. So, but it's quick, and convenient, and they really like it. So,
Why are you not going to a bigger machine then?
well, I would prefer to do that. However, at this point, financially, it hasn't made sense to do that. There's peak hours where my machine will run out, but This year, it's ran out very little compared to last year because one opened up down the road.
It's been quite warm this year also.
Yeah, yeah. But you know, typically sales grow year over year as people become used to them. That would be more convenient for us just to have a larger machine, but financially it doesn't make sense to do that yet.
So you just kind of wait and see, and if the demand increases, you will go to a bigger machine, is that it?
Exactly, but while we're talking about this though, I think there's more benefits to this chest than just having it because I would sell out. I sell bags all day, every day out of that chest. People do like using it, and my vending machine's not out of ice. So some people just like it fresh out of the chest and not fresh and loose. So it's a good price. It's quick and convenient. You don't have to walk into a store to buy it. So even if I did upgrade, I don't know that I would want to get rid of it if the board was open to allowing me to keep it. You know, just for that reason, people like it.
So how often do you have to go up there and refill this machine?
We've been going once a week and refilling it. So
80 bags will last you a week?
we're not able to fit quite 80 in it. I thought we were going to be able to fit 80 in it. It's closer to 60. That must have been rated for a smaller sized bag. But there's some weeks we've gone up there twice a week, to put more in it.
Do you have 20-pound?
We don't yet. If we were to ever to upgrade to a larger machine, some of those offer that larger bag size. So that's one thing I don't have is the larger bag that my competitor has. But this allows me to differentiate and offer something that nobody else in town has. And there's definitely a demand for it because it's not what I thought. It would just get used if the vending machine was out. That's not the case. We sold ice out of it today, this morning, right out of the gate. So
If the 80 bag doesn't work, you will go to a bigger chest or
well,
just a bigger machine?
it's such a new sector of the industry. Nobody really knows what the demand's gonna to yield. I guess time will tell. This stuff's so new, but people love it. I get a lot of good feedback on it from my customers. So I'd like to keep it if that's okay. And I apologize for putting it in place prior to approval of an amendment. I didn't realize there would need to be an amendment to the special use. Me, with my novice knowledge of this, thought, I didn't pour any extra concrete. I didn't alter the pad to make it bigger.
Yeah,
I was
it's
able
actually fit on there pretty well.
Yeah, I was worried that it wasn't going to fit, but it was able to fit up on there. I did have to remove one bollard to get it to fit back on there. I haven't put it back yet just because I was waiting to come to this meeting. I would like to add one, if that's okay, to that corner, just for that extra protection so nobody can bump into it.
Okay, Mark, any questions?
The only question I have is, you mentioned that when somebody's filling water, somebody can't also get ice because they're two separate, doors, so you cannot do that?
Not on every machine allows that, unfortunately, and that one it doesn't. So.
I noticed that there was some landscaping, some shrubbery or something put in. Was that you that put that in up towards the street?
It was.
Okay. So,
Yeah, we planted honeysuckles. We also planted some other smaller ones that didn't work out, so we replaced with the larger honeysuckle plants.
okay. No more questions at this time, thanks.
Thank
How about
you.
Ed?
I'm good.
Mike?
Took pictures.
Well, I got, I guess, 2 or 3 issues with this. One is that you put the machine there before you approached us about changing or requesting a change for your special use. And so in doing such, if we allow that chest to stay there, then in effect, we've kind of set a precedence. We've said that, well, it's okay to come before us with a special use, and then, by the way, I'm going to change my mind and do something other than what was presented to us to begin with, and then you go ahead and put it there, and then we've got to resolve that. And I guess I have a little bit of a problem with that because, even though you remove the ballard, the machine is not protected. Even if you put the ballard back, I mean, it's right at the edge, because I took a picture of it. The chest is right at the edge of your 3x6 concrete slab. Now, if the ice machine itself had been maybe pushed a little bit farther to the east on the pad, then you might have had a little bit more protection to where you could put a ballard in front. Now, the issue is if we require some more ballards to protect the front of that chest, you're going to have to come out into the parking lot and dig some holes and pour some concrete there. And then that's over and expanding your footprint that you presented to us. So then that's a change then too. Even if you put the ballard back on the corner of the slab, I mean, somebody can drive up, they'll hit the ballard. Of course, if they hit it hard enough, they're going to shear it off anyway because you're just bolting it down. It's not in the ground or through the concrete pad. But if they come from the other side, I mean, literally they could run into the front of your door of your dispensing unit, your chest unit, and smash that. In fact, if they hit it hard enough, they could even, in fact, push the ice machine off or break the water line and electrical, because I'm assuming that comes up through the bottom of the concrete pad to go into the ice machine itself. So, there's an issue with, I'd call safety as far as your merchandise and the fact that it's not protected the way it's supposed to be protected. So that's another thing. One of the things I thought about, and I would even throw out as a suggestion, and I don't know what the other board feels about it, but maybe to blend it in with the ice machine, present dispensing machine that you have there, is to possibly wrap that white box with the blue and the ice cubes and everything, so it blends in and makes it look like it's one machine. But on the other hand, what's to stop some of the other people that's got ice machines out there now to come back and say, well, now we've got this dispensing unit up here in the Sunnyland area, why can't we do that in ours? So then we have to resolve all those issues too. I mean, it's kind of put us in, I feel, a very awkward position. So, I understand what you're trying to accomplish, and I understand from a financial standpoint that possibly you would like to go to a bigger machine, and if so, then that means you're going to have, I'm sure, a bigger footprint. If I remember, I don't think you said that even a bigger machine or a medium-sized machine would fit on that 3x6 concrete footprint, would it?
The pad, if I recall, was 10 by 10, so our largest machine would fit on that.
Okay.
We haven't released this yet, but there's a new model coming out that's better designed. It's bigger than the 3 foot by 6 foot. It can actually hold 2 ice makers on it. It would fit on that pad. It's smaller than the largest machine we have now. So if that's released next year, that would be the one that I would recommend. I don't have the exact dimensions of it yet, but it would definitely fit on that pad. And that's the model I would choose to upgrade to.
Along with using the dispensing unit,
Well,
the chest unit?
The theory was going into this is it would serve as, I didn't think anybody would really use it unless I sold out. But people use it, I think, sometimes in the morning before they even use the actual vending machine. They like it. So, if it's okay, I'd like to keep it next to it. If you say that I got to get rid of it, if I upgrade it or go any bigger, then I don't have a choice. But I think people like it. I'd like to keep it.
Well, like I say, I for one, I feel like it has put us in an awkward position to determine what you presented to us to begin with, requesting the special use, and now it's changed. And it's already there. You've already spent the money to put it in, hook it up, set it up and everything else. And then, so we either have to be the good guy or the bad guy, one or the other. And, you know, I think if nothing else, as a compromise maybe, is to take and, like I said, if you can wrap it to where it makes it look like, you know, you got your blue and your white coloring with your ice cubes, and wrap it into one to where it blends in a little bit better, and then come up with a way of protecting it a little bit more, because I still think that even putting the ballard on the corner, back on the corner of the concrete, which you don't have now, and you can see where you removed the one put the cooler unit there, and you're gonna move it over a little bit, but there again, the front of that is still not protected, even with those ballards there. And I don't know what because I don't know if you have more room that you can use there. I mean, are you allowed to just go out in front of that and dig a couple holes and put concrete pipes there? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't had that conversation with the landlord yet.
Well, I would think you'd want to, you know, look at in protecting your investment for one thing, and to me, it seems like it would be worthwhile, the expense or whatever, to have a couple more pipes out in front of that.
I would also like that. I mean, it makes sense. We typically cut, you know, in situations like that, instead of removing a lot of asphalt and pouring more pad, we would cut a square, dig down, do concrete and anchor bolt it in. That's what we've done in other locations. That's what I would,
Well,
I know it's
mean,
not
obviously
as-
you can't bolt it on top of the blacktop,
Right.
because then it's not going to even hold anything. So you're going to have to cut it out and, you know, auger a hole and sink it in the ground a couple foot or whatever in order to be able to protect it. But, I mean, that's just one of the issues. So, I don't know, that's my comments for what they're worth. That's all I got, Ed.
Michael?
Yeah, I share Mike's concern. You know, you're smart enough to come in and get the initial special use permit, and you went through a lot of work under the assumption that there would be demand, and it would fit on the pad, and so we'd all be okay with it. I have some concerns about that. It puts us in a very tough position. You know, speaking for myself, I'd like to be pro-business, but on the other hand, you know, our job is to look at things and say, yes or no, there's reasonable variance here, and it's okay or it's not okay. I'm not, right now, not in favor of this. The bollards have been removed, your equipment's not protected. It appears there's room on that pad now to put another one of these merchandisers right next to it. And we've already set, we're looking at setting a precedent to say, hey, it's okay, you got a special use permit, let's just throw another one on top. Okay, there's room for you to do that again and come back and say, oh, sorry. Or come back and say, you gave me one, I'm keeping it on the pad, I want to do another one now because the demand's there. You talked about demand with us, and when you first put it in, the reason was to satisfy demand, to have extra ice there when your ice maker ran out. Now that reason has changed. You're finding customers like that, but you don't need it to meet demand. That's what I'm hearing because of competition. As far as the aesthetics go, I give what staff writes in our briefing a lot of weight. And they made the comment that if the merchandiser could be integrated within the facade of the ice kiosk, staff would find this proposal a little more palatable. That doesn't mean they like it. It means that it's taken care of one of the problems. I wish you'd come to us before this. We could have talked about other things with the pad, the aesthetics, and things like that. That's all I've got to say.
Okay, Belinda, you got anything?
I do not have anything. I think it's been said.
Okay. And there's nobody here, so I guess we'll close the public portion of case 18-U22. I guess case 18R21, you can have a seat now.
Okay.
Case 18R21, we'll just put on hold or
Yeah,
table it
Yeah, if that's okay.
until further.
We can just vote to sorry, we can just vote to table that if that's okay with you guys, and then we'll see, I'll try to reach out to the petitioner and see if it's something they want
You want
to.
just a voice vote or you want?
Yeah, let's go ahead and,
Voice vote?
table that and just voice vote that.
Aye.
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 That was case R21. Back to deliberations on case S18, SU22, petition of Lance Stossel. Questions?
No, I'd like to,
Discussions?
yeah, I'd like to say a couple things, that the, Mike brought up the city's position on the merchandiser, and, you know, if you look at the fact, we're already allowing the machine to sit out front. And so, you know, I went by and looked at it, I got some pictures on my phone, if you didn't go by and look at it. I do agree with Mike Kelly's position on, I think it would be a good idea to vinyl wrap it, do something to make it blend with the other piece of equipment, whatever. If you don't want your equipment protected and mowed over by a car, that's your business, in my opinion, but, so, even though you did not come, you did come at the end of our last meeting, just to ask if, one, we would be open-minded if you didn't pull it off that pad, and those that were listening said, yes, we would, and now it sounds like some of us are less open-minded, because you're already there, and you did. And you're not the first, you know, you won't be the last, and unfortunately, that everybody doesn't follow the rules that they should, but right now, in this particular case, with this particular machine, this location, to me, I do not find that machine, other than I would like it wrapped, now I say wrapped, cosmetically blended with the remaining machine, I do not find an issue with that machine.
Any other comments?
I got a comment. I don't see an issue with it not being secured down to the thing. It's not
You
our.
have to turn your mic on. Yeah.
Sorry, I guess I don't have a problem with the machine not being secured, or if a car hits it, it's going to ruin the machine. It's not our machine, and we're not, would like the aesthetics of the machine improved, so it kind of blends in with the rest of it. So I think that's the only issue I have with it. Thank you.
Any comments?
Yeah, well, I think that, you know, by blending it in, but I also think that, you know, of course, that's up to you, it's your equipment, but I think it'd behoove you to talk to the landlord and see about, you know, sticking a couple more ballots out there. I mean, the idea is, with us having these units set in the community, that they be protected. And in this particular case, it is not going to be protected, even with putting the bollard back on the slab, which I would recommend you to do as far as on the corner there, as far as that part, bolting it down and stick one next to it. That's going to help protect it some. But again, somebody can pull in from the west side, what I'm going to call the west side, which is straight on to the door, like right that podium, and run right into it. And literally, I mean, you know, let's say somebody, I mean, God forbid, somebody's driving down the road and they pass out, and that car starts shooting across the road, and it's going to hit that machine, and it's going to push not only the dispensing machine, but the ice machine right off the pad. Or if you got a couple ballards stuck out there in the ground, I would hope that would help stop that before there would be some other major damage. Just, you know, I mean, God forbid that it would even happen, but, you know, that's something you have to think about. And, I mean, that's a legitimate concern, I would think, that, I mean, somebody, you know, could have a heart attack or something, and, you know, a car's out of control.
And I think those ballards, as they are today, if that situation occurred, that machine is gone. It's gonna take.
Well, yeah,
I don't
except-
question
Wall up about.
Well, no, but I meant, what I'm talking about, out in front of in the blacktop, digging down in the ground, 2.5 feet in the ground, and I'm
That's different.
saying, that's different, and that's what I'm talking about.
'Cause the ones that
Planting
are
pipe
there are
in
not
the
gonna
ground.
stop much other
No,
than the
that's
casual
right,
car
they're not. That's
maybe
right,
turning too sharply and bumping it.
that's
The
right.
other ones, if they hit it high enough, the car would just go right over them.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
So they're gonna be going 30, 40 miles.
So it is a good idea to protect your equipment.
That's up to him to do that.
Looking for a motion.
Well, I understand comments. I understand
Nope,
Mike's
just one
point,
comment.
Mark's point. I agree with Mark. If you don't want to insure your equipment or you don't want to protect it with bollards, it's your equipment, it's your risk assessment. I can find this more palatable if we address the aesthetics and put a time limit on addressing it. 30 days, 60 days, something to say, the machine's got to be presentable. But I'm still not happy about you coming in afterwards.
Want to put that in the motion, Michael?
Well,
Oh,
sorry.
somebody
That was a
else?
comment.
Belinda, did you have any comments? I'm sorry.
I do. I just was gonna say that I also agree with the aesthetics of it. I think it would just look better and wouldn't stand out as much. I know it's just part of a refrigeration or freezer part for the add-on, but I definitely think it would look better. And, I mean, I'm not worried about the holes. If you're not worried about them, then we are. Yeah, it's not working.
You're supposed to have it on when you're talking.
Yeah, I did.
I did.
Oh, no, it is. I
Okay.
did it a couple times.
So, Mr. Chairman, based on our deliberation, I guess we haven't done findings of fact.
Yeah.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the special use based on a few conditions. Only one merchandiser allowed on this location. Aesthetically improve the merchandiser via vinyl wrap, make it blend. If a larger machine is put on this property, the merchandiser would have to be removed. I think that's it.
I'll second.
You gonna put a time limit on it, or?
Oh, yeah, that's right. On the aesthetic improvement, I'm not sure that 30 days, and again, I'm just basing that off of vinyl wrap. It was a vinyl wrap business down the street, but couldn't be done in 30 days.
Can I
What about
suggest,
60 days?
60 days?
can I
60
can I
days.
suggest it be 30 days after staff approval and let staff decide that the aesthetics are correct?
So I'm sorry, that was 60 days, we're
No,
saying?
I'm just, the
Yeah,
aesthetic
the-
improvement 30 days after staff approval.
30
Originally, I said 30, then different input here said go out to 60, but
Well, 60 days after staff
Yeah, I-
approval. I'm not sure,
Yeah.
I'm not particular whether it's 30 or 60 days,
Yeah.
but I would like to know if there's some approval of staff going on.
okay.
Yeah, that'd be fine, and we could relay that back to you guys that it's been approved by us, and, I mean, yeah, so I mean, it really would just be, probably to help us though, it would be better for you to set a specific date, because then. that
60.
So 60 days, and then,
From date of staff approval.
okay,
Yeah, I think that's reasonable, 60 days from staff approval. That's reasonable. That work for you?
And then without setting a time limit
Okay,
on when
so
you bring
Ed
something in,
seconded.
just be
Okay.
timely
So what do
about
you
getting
got
something to
here?
staff.
right, that's fine. Well, so, real quick, just to clarify, so are we would we talk council approval, because this would again have to go, because this is an amendment before, so we're saying after the next ZBA, after city council approves it, are we saying 60 days from that day? Or are we, after he's done it, we take a look at it? I mean, I'm sorry, I'm just a little confused as to how the 60 day, how we want to work that 60 days. Because it's still gonna have to go before council and be approved by council, so do you want to say 60 days after approval by council?
That's probably work.
That'd
Staff
be,
approval, because he can't do anything until.
Well, no, once city council.
if city council gives him the okay, he's good.
Yeah, if city council approves and says he's okay, based upon, if you guys recommend that this is it and they agree and they approve that, then you could say, so 60 days from that day, he has to have it in place.
Okay.
I mean, and that's easy for us to follow up on, we can easily.
I think that'll work.
Okay. So 60 days from city council approval.
I'm good. So what do you have on the conditions?
Okay.
The 60-day got,
Sorry, I'm just typing it all in here.
No, go ahead.
So I have, with the condition of one merchandiser, it has to be aesthetics have to be improved via some type of wrap. If a
blend
larger
with
machine is put in place, the merchandiser has to be removed, and the aesthetics have to be in place within 60 days of city council approval.
okay, good.
You got that on the second?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Okay, so we,
So I think we still need a second.
No, Ed second.
So now we just
Okay.
gotta go through the finding of fact. Sorry, we just need to
Do
go
we
through
need
the
to go
finding.
through it, since he's
Oh,
already,
that's
we've
right.
already had it before on the first case, or do you want to go back
No, I
to?
think we.
We still need to do the
procedurally-
finding of facts, and then,
procedurally.
again, I think we kind of jumped ahead and we
Yeah,
did
yeah.
the conditions before the finding of facts, but
Well,
that's okay. I think we all were kind of in agreement that
I mean,
it's
we-
gonna go forward, but with some conditions, so.
It should have dawned on
Do you know if you
us
wanna
that
go
we
ahead
haven't
and-
done
yeah, we
findings of
can,
fact.
we've already gone through this, but will the establishment, maintenance, and operation of the proposed special use permit be detrimental to or endanger the public health, safety, morals, comforts, or general welfare?
No,
No.
Will the proposed special use permit be injurious to the use or enjoyment of other properties in the immediate vicinities for uses permitted in the district?
no,
Will the proposed special use permit diminish or impair property values within the surrounding neighborhood?
no,
Will the establishment of the proposed special use permit impede the orderly development or improvements of surrounding properties for uses permitted in the subject zoning district?
No.
no,
Or have adequate utilities, access, roads, drainage, or other necessary facilities been provided?
yes,
Yes.
Or have adequate measures been taken to provide ingress and egress from the site, minimizing traffic conditions and hazards on public streets?
yes,
Yes.
Will the proposed special use permit conform to all other applicable regulations of zoning district?
yes,
And you can call roll when you're ready.
Okay, Gino Ori,
Yes?
Mark Hill,
Yes.
Ed Zosky,
Yes.
Mike Kelly,
yes,
Michael McCarthy,
Yes.
Melinda Young.
Yes.
Okay, we have 6 ayes.
That goes to Council
Do you
Wynn.
have wrapping available for that, or matching wrap, or is that something you have to have it made up?
I'd have to have it made up. I'm sure it's doable though.
A fast sign or somebody.
There's
like
one,
Yeah.
there's
Vital sign.
literally
Down the road,
just
yeah.
down the street. There's a few blocks.
He'll price it for you.
Yeah,
You should know how much it costs. Get a couple prices
right, yeah. I appreciate the 60 days so I could do that.
before you go.
Yeah, now, your staff's part of that 60 days. You're gonna have to work with them, get it approved and get it installed and that whole thing.
You can start with it
Yeah,
now.
sorry,
get the
yeah, so
price.
Right, yeah.
I would say, again, I would recommend, as they were suggesting, probably reach out to some vendors in the area. Start on that now with the anticipation that if this is approved by city council, then you kind of got a head start on that 60 days. But all you need for us is just probably some specs from whatever vendor you go with, some sample pictures, and then we can approve that and then get it installed and we would be good to go.
Sounds good.
All right.
All right, no, new business, you don't have any, do you? Hope?
No new business?
All
Any
right,
old business?
You should try and get. some
Motion to
advertising
adjourn.
sponsors.
Motion to adjourn.
There's Mark.
Advertisement on
You got a second?
second,
All right, adjourned.
Wait, that was almost a time.
One motion, 5 seconds.
Simultaneously.
Kelly second.
Okay, I'll do my cut.
Okay, let's go home.
Like on your venture, I hope it's successful enough to